Hello everyone, my name is Carolina Colseth and today we're going to be going over Curriculum Engine 101 for beginners. Curriculum Engine is an online lesson planning tool that teachers in Clark County School District, Las Vegas, Nevada uses in order to gather their lesson plans, standards, and collaboration. When you're logging into Curriculum Engine, you will use your Interact credentials at curriculum.wiki-teacher.com. So today we're going to be looking at Curriculum Engine, how it's used, why it's used. We're going to be looking at the different components of it. Since no one has joined the session, we won't be doing a Q&A, but we'll definitely be doing some exploration. In most cases, we start and end on time. Today is an open session, considering no one has shown up. I usually ask my participants to actively participate in the training, as well as respect, collaborate, and enjoy while they're learning. So today's session, we're going to be looking at why we use Curriculum Engine, how to utilize it to create and maintain lesson plans digitally. Hold on one second, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to cough and sneeze in your ear. And then we're going to look at accessing lesson plans and Curriculum Engine. So it's important for us to understand why Curriculum Engine is being used in CCSD. First and foremost, it allows people to access their standards and benchmarks quickly and digitally in one place. It allows you to store all your lesson plans digitally in one place as well. But it's also a very collaborative instructional tool, which I'll show you in a moment. So when we're talking about collaboration and sharing, we're talking about like professional learning communities where you are collaborating on the content level or grade level, or even both possibly, depending if you're elementary or secondary education. It's a great tool for common planning, as well as when you have a co-teaching collaboration going on where you have special ed students mainstreamed into the regular classroom. So the co-teacher can have access to the lessons that are going into the class that day, but then they're able to bring it to their side of Curriculum Engine and make changes for modifications and accommodations for their special ed students and their IPs. Excuse me, IEPs. You can also share with people individually, as well as across your school site and with the district. So let's go ahead and switch out our screens here. I'm sorry, excuse me. This will just take a moment. Okay, so now we're at the Curriculum Engine login screen. Again, you'll use your Interact credentials that you use to log into First Class Interact at work. You can then essentially do your lesson planning at home because you don't need to have access to a district computer to do this. As you can see, there's two different sides to Curriculum Engine. The left side will be your standards, content, and documents related to your content and grade level areas. And then the right side is your calendar and layers. I'm going to start with the left side and work our way over to the right side. The left side, again, is your standards. In order to select your course, you'll click on Select Course. And as you can see, it's asking for content, course, and view. Content, as you can see, there are different areas of content for standards listed already in Curriculum Engine. I am a secondary education English teacher, so I will do NVACs, English Language Arts. For those that don't know, NVACs is basically the state side of Common Core, so Nevada Academic Content Standards. And then as you can see, it populated the course and the view automatically. So course is the grade level that you teach. You see that there are English language art levels for pre-K through 5th grade, AP Lang and Composition, ELA blocks 6 and 7, and then general English 6 through 12. Then you have the ELL learners, fundamentals of reading and writing, journalism, publications, speech and debate, reading. If you're a Springboard school, the nice thing about the Springboard standards is that it's taken the pacing of the Springboard book and it has shown the lesson number or the assignment number or embedded assessment, and you just plop it into your layer, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. And then, of course, the old English 1 through 4 that we had pre-Common Core. So I'm going to go ahead and click on, let's see, I have English 11 up here. So I'm going to I have English 9 also. And then it'll pop in view. You have 3 types of views for most standards. You have pacing view, which are your quarterly views, standards broken down into 4 quarters. Your list view, which standards are now subcategorized in just the categories for each screen. And then document view are supplements and different materials for lesson planning and your course expectations, your syllabus, and so forth. And then, of course, to the right bottom of this box, you see set quick links. Think of this as like your radio with your preset stations. Well, you can do that with the various, excuse me, various buttons up to 6. So if you teach different preps, you might want to think about what specific things you're looking for. For instance, the document view for ELA is pretty much standard across the board, except for it may be different between pre-K and 5th grade, but for middle school and high school, it's the same thing. So if you're teaching like grade 7 and 8, Springboard or English, or if you're teaching 9th and 12th grade English, document view is going to be the same. So I normally tell people to save their pacing view, definitely. As you can see, I already have English 11 up here 3 times. Those are my the pacing, the list, and then the documents. And then I'm going to go on number 4 and add English 9 pacing. And then for list view, English 9 list for number 5. And then for number 6, I don't need the document view because it's the same, but we'll save it anyways. For number 6, just so you can see that there are 6 quick links at the top. So we'll go ahead and click on a pacing view of English 11. And as you can see, it lists all the standards we should be teaching in English 11. But maybe I want access to all the standards that are not listed in quarter 1. That's when list view comes into play. So now you see, instead of quarters, you have the different subcategories. So pacing view has the quarters. List view has the subcategories listed. If you go into documents, this is where you snag that. Well, I guess it would be prudent to have different document links. I forgot about this. You can grab your scope and goals for regular and honors for middle school and high school. Regular Common Core state standards, so the national level standards that the NVACs are based off of. The different appendix components from Common Core. You have translation documents from the Department of Education with Nevada, transition guides, the different thematic units. So if you click on some of these links, you'll notice that a document will download. I'll let you guys play with those because I can only share one specific screen at a time. And then if you scroll down further, the other documents that we should be user-friendly with, like our teacher expectations, components of an effective lesson plan, knowing Bloom's taxonomy as well as depth of knowledge. Nice thing about ELA components for these different documents is the depth of knowledge descriptors. So you can know what are the trigger words as well as the depth of each trigger word or level within depth of knowledge. And then, of course, reminders about using copyrighted works as well as electronic media in the classroom. So that is your left side of the screen, standards and documents. Your right side of the screen is your calendar and your layers. As you can see, a couple things are already up in the calendar. We have a CCSD subscription for middle school and high school holidays as well as professional development days. For elementary school teachers, that should already be transitioned over for you without you looking for it. What you're going to do is learn that layers will be your friends. Excuse me. Especially if you teach more than one prep. So elementary school teachers, you like having different colors and different layers for different contents that you're teaching. For middle school and high school, sometimes we're teaching different preps within the same content area, but different grade levels. So different layers would be appropriate. So as you can see here, I have different layers. The boxes mean that there are folders. Don't worry about that for now. Excuse me. You can see that I have different colors. So in past sessions, I've created 2 different templates that I have shared with people. One point in time in my life, I did teach English Language Arts 7 with Springboard. I also have taught 6th grade computer literacy, and I'm currently back in the high school level at online. So let's go ahead and look at layers. You'll add a layer by clicking Add a Layer. Now you have these different boxes. Don't go all willy-nilly and start typing in different things unless you want to. So while you have this open, you can subscribe to different calendars that are shared with the district. So we have the CCSD high school testing windows, which I don't think I'm subscribed to, so I shall click that. And then, oh, let's go back in. You have middle school testing windows, elementary school testing windows. You should already be subscribed to your given elementary school or middle school, high school holidays, and PD. If not, you can subscribe in there. You are going to create a layer by coming up here. So notice that the different sections of this pop-up window are labeled in like a reddish, darkish orange color. So create a new layer. Layer folder. So don't come down here typing in and wonder where your layer is. Create a layer folder is totally different. And we'll go over that in a little while. What you want to do is come up here to the first box and create your first layer. I normally tell people to put their last name in the title of their layer, especially if you're sharing with people, because if you think about it, when you don't, you tend to see just a bunch of different labels and you don't know whose is what unless you like start clicking around and start getting nosy on the layer information. It's just easier to be like, oh, I want COLSES English 11 lesson plans this week, so I will click on COLSES English 11 layer. You'll click create. Notice that your layer is now the first within the layer list. You also will notice that some of these are check marked and some of these are not. When they are not check marked, so let's see here. I had created one earlier today. When they're not check marked, you don't see it. So notice that the one on September 16th magically disappeared. Okay, So because I have so many layers, you also need to know that these two components right here, the two icons, the pencil means that is the layer you're editing right now. So I'm going to switch over to my current one. And then the eyeball means it's visible to you. So normally the default color for layers is blue. If you want to change that or other components, all you do is go to your layer and double click your layer and it'll pop up a new window. This is where you can change the title if you choose to later. You have 12. There's a reason why I teach English. There are 12 different colors you can choose from to change your labels and layers. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and go with purple for this one. You can add viewers and editors. Viewers are people you're individually adding to your layer to view your lesson plans only. That means they cannot edit, they cannot add, they cannot take away from your lesson plans. All they can do is simply look at your lesson plans. Then you have editors. Now, I tell teachers that you do not have to add your administrator on as an editor. They can pull your lesson plans as a read view only through their end of curriculum engine. Their curriculum engine looks a little different. You only should be adding people as an editor if you feel very comfortable with them making changes to your lesson plans. So there should be definitely that cohesive relationship, two-way communication that's consistent. So you guys are always knowing what was changed, what was taken away, what was added. If you do have people on that you're editing with and there's changes, know that you cannot revert back to previous documents that are placed into the lesson plans. Excuse me. So my best advice is to either not add editors and then collaborate by looking at different layers, or you come together and you physically put them together in as a meeting or like a collaborative session type where someone like puts the curriculum engine up on the screen, one person sits behind the computer and they shuffle around the different standards and dates. Or you can keep your original lesson plans in Microsoft Word as a backup, which I've done in the past. So you have what you originally put in, and if anything has been majorly changed that is missing and you want to put it back in, you don't have to think about it. 2 days later, it's right there. It's in your document. You can also allow anyone in your school to find and subscribe to your layer of lesson plans, or you can share with the whole district. So if there are people at the school level or district level that are looking for English 11 lesson plans, they can search mine if I choose to share it with them, and they can look at what I have. Again, they can only view, they cannot edit. Down here, you see it says lesson plan template. What that means is that this is something that's going to pop up every time you start a new calendar event. That means every time you drop in different standards, or if you start from a brand new blank calendar with no standards, it's going to pop this in there. This is where people try to figure out, where do I put my template in so I don't have to copy and paste, like put it in Word and then copy and paste it over. You can do it by using the copy and paste feature. So I already have a template I use or have used when I was in the classroom. And then you're going to come over here. So you'll copy it. You'll select all. You'll copy your template in Microsoft Word, so you don't have to rebuild it in here. And then you're going to come up to here where you see the 3 clipboards under where it says lesson plan template. And then you're going to look for the one that says paste, paste as plain text, or paste from Word. You'll click on paste from Word. You may get this small window. Don't worry about it. You'll Control V, paste it into the window, and then you'll click OK. Okay, where to go? Oh, let's see if it saved it. It did not. That's super weird. Okay, this does not like me on this one. So we'll go into my other layer. That's why I always have backup layers, and it's not in here either. It was in here previously. Well, this is embarrassing. Let's see if it'll open up in here. It did not. Okay. I am not understanding why this is not working. No, that's old. Okay, so let's try something else here. Maybe if I use a different document. That is super crazy. There it is. Okay. All right, so now that we have it in here, it's copied and pasted. Oh, it copied and pasted it quite a few times. We only need one. Okay, so we have our template in here. Yay for the woes of technology. So you have this in here. Now every time you open up a calendar thing, it will be in there. The one thing to remember is that you can type in here. So like if you have something you do specifically every day that's the same, whoa, how many times did this copy it? Then you can add it in there and then it'll pop up every single time. So you have minimal features at your disposal. You can add bullets or a numbered list into your lesson plans. You can indent, you can quote things, you can source it, which is the HTML source code. You can build blocks, which you kind of already did if you did it already in Microsoft Word. There is a help button with the CKE editor. You can bold, italicize, underline. You can subscript, superscript. You can remove format if needed. You can change colors. So if you want to highlight something, so let's see. You want to highlight, you can highlight, and that will be highlighted all the time. You can add it. You can add a link. You can add a table. You can insert lines. You can insert special characters, and then you can use the writer editor, which is totally different, and I don't suggest unless you know how to use it. Oh, my free trial has expired. Okay, so don't worry about that. So you have those going for you. And again, this is the template I use. It's the I do, we do, they do. And then once you're happy with what you have, you can go ahead and click save. That's so weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking at how we use the left and drag to the right. Excuse me. So I usually tell people to go back into their pacing view so you can see what standards you're working with currently. So as you can see, I already added stuff on a different level, or excuse me, different layer on the 16th. So I'm going to drop in on a different day for this one. So I'm just going to, oh, but look, I can't see my calendar now, and it's such a bother to like go from down here, grab this calendar item, which means I want to add this standard on a specific day, and then scroll all the way up here. You can do that, but an easier thing to do would be excuse me, is to make your calendar and layers static and only scroll your standards. That's where this little scroll checkbox comes into play. If you turn it on, your calendar and your layers now become static, and only your standards go through. So I'm just going to pick a couple. So if you want to add several standards to one day, you just hover over the previous standard and it'll put it in the same level. It's easy as just clicking the calendar icon, dragging it to the day, and then it will add it together so you have all the standards you want assigned to that day. Well, now you're ready to type up your lesson plan. So you just double click the day after you've dragged the standards over. And where did it's supposed to show it? There it is. Okay, that's so weird. I guess trick of the day is if you're not seeing your lesson plan template, you click on the expand maximize button, and then so that kind of distracts you or takes away from the distractions of everything else around the lesson plan, and then it opens the editor as its own window. For me, it doesn't bother me because I can just see the standards and whatnot, and then you can just scroll the box. Okay, so this is where you would say hero's journey. This is for, you can see up here, Thursday the 17th. So for Thursday, 09/17, and then you already have the standards. Now this is just for like if you decide to print your standards out, which some administrators do. So then all you do is you look down here and you have it. So SL 1112.1, W.1112.2C, etc. And then you just fill it in. So again, this lesson plan tool is always going to be in there for you as your template, and you just add to it. So maybe as you're going through and you're realizing, one of these standards I'm really not covering, like you thought you were, and then you decided, nope, that's not going to work. Well, you have red X's here. You can take one away. Easy peasy. And then when you're done, just go through it one more time and save. Well, I need to add more standards because these three are not going to be it. So then you can still click and drag more to it. It'll still take it. And then maybe, just maybe, you're teaching this on Monday. This is where you can duplicate. So you click on duplicate. You click on the day you're duplicating to. So make sure you have your selected layer. So I'm going to teach this on the 21st also. You can click as many days as you need to. It highlights. And then you click duplicate. Now you see that the 17th is now on the 21st. And then all you have to do is like, oh, I just have to change the date and maybe modify it a little and extend it. So you don't have to like retype the whole lesson plan over again. So again, that's duplicating a lesson plan. So let's see. I do. That must be someone else's. Let's go ahead and unsubscribe. So like, oh, I guess this is a good teaching moment. So this is this one layer I'm looking at here where it has a lock on it and I can't edit it. I can only double click it. And so this is by another teacher. And I don't want to be subscribed to this layer anymore. So you just double click your layer, scroll down and click unsubscribe. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to unsubscribe? Okay. And now it's gone. Okay. And that's how you unsubscribe. So if you don't want access to people's layers anymore, you just unsubscribe. So that's pretty much it for lesson planning on there. Now, there are ways to add certain things. So like I know some people have added pictures and graphs into a lesson plan. If you choose to do that, I would suggest going into Word and then copy and paste it in. And I know I can't show you guys my Word document. So let's see. I'm going to so I chose a picture and I copied it, and then I want to put it into my lesson plan because I want to make sure I have it. So I just go to the bottom and then I click copy from Word or paste from Word. Oh, it won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. So only specific things. I try to do a picture because some people have pictures. So I will have to figure that out and let you guys know how to do that. It was a graph I think someone had told me about, so I'll have to research that a little bit more. Let's see, we'll do it now. Nope. Nope. So I'll have to figure that out and get back to the person that asked me. So again, you can always add, especially for Microsoft Word, just make sure you use the paste from Word because otherwise it's going to go really wonky and then it won't look right. And again, if you make changes, click save. So, but maybe I did this and oh, I don't want to make those changes happen. If you click on close, it'll ask you, you made changes to this calendar item. Do you want to close this calendar item without changing? Yes, I don't want to save them. And you just click close without saving. And then it'll just close it and it'll leave it as is. So maybe we're behind and you didn't get to, say it's Friday the 17th, and I didn't get to this lesson plan. So I need to shift things around. Easy peasy. You can move them from day to day. You can drag them. Now notice you can't drag things that you're subscribed to. Only the ones that you have editing rights to. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Curriculum Engine. It's more about playing with different things and getting it to work for you, putting in your template if you want a fancy template. Now, there is one thing that I do tell people that they should always get into knowing about and feeling comfortable doing it. Actually, two things. The first thing is the help section, which if you click the help button at the top, it'll pull down this orange menu. And then you can go through and look at different tutorials that are created by CCSD. You can look at a sample day workflow video, the exploration chart. I tend to tell people to always open up and look at the beginning of every school year. So, you know, when we return after not touching this for 3 years, if you want to archive your lesson plans towards the end so you don't lose them, because what happens is those that are running Curriculum Engine, they only keep 2 years on the books and then they dump anything after that. So make sure that you back up everything that you have created. And then these are the basic common things of what to do with your curriculum, unwrapping standards, and the calendar items that I've showed you guys. That I showed you guys the basic things that beginners should use. This covers things that intermediate and advanced users have questions for. So earlier, I did state that some standards are unwrapped for us already. Do I need to know? How do I teach and assess? Where can I get more help? And who of my peers have shared this? If you click on what do I need to know, a new window will pop up. And it basically shows the unwrapped standards. So it shows you the college and career readiness standard, the learning targets, and then if you can't think of student-friendly ones, gives you one. Gives you academic vocabulary attached to the lesson and standard. Essential questions that are vague that you can tailor to the needs of your lessons. Vertical alignment. Considerations for ELL learners. And then SBAC information. And then if you're done with that, you just click on the X button and it'll close out the tab. How do I teach and assess this? Is another link that's good. It'll tell you instructional and textbook things that you can use, teaching suggestions, and then possible videos you can use. These videos can be opened up in CCSD's filtered internet, so you should be able to have complete access to them in order to show them in the classroom or to review them to see what you can gain from the knowledge of those videos. Let me see if there's any. I don't have peers on here, so I don't think anything else would be. It's like this has nothing for it. How do I, not even what do I know, how to, what do I need to know, how to teach it? You can always submit questions and suggestions to support. So you come down to the bottom right, click here for support. And then you just let them know your name. I would put your Interact email and then the question, and then you could also put in your suggestions. They really do try to update Curriculum Engine to make it more user-friendly for teachers and users. So if there's something that as you come across, and you get this epiphany like, I wish I could do this, but you can't because it's not a feature within Curriculum Engine, leave them a message, and they normally put it up on their idea board and see how they can incorporate it, especially if more than one teacher has similar ideas or concepts and voiced similar things of them needing this tool or feature within Curriculum Engine. And that's all I have for today with Curriculum Engine. I do want to close up with a with my information. So hold on, let me go ahead and switch back to my PowerPoint. I already went through all this. So here's my contact information. You can definitely get a hold of me on Interact if you are, at your computer during the school day. I am online. I'm an online teacher. I run a testing site in the district. So if it's something like during the school day and you have a question, I'll try to help. If you can't get any help from Curriculum Engine, I am more than happy to help people when it comes to technology. Or if it's after hours, you can email me at carolinacolseth@gmail.com or text me at my cell phone number on the screen. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate anyone who has stepped in to watch the playback. Please leave me feedback, comments, tell me if I did anything good for you, give me suggestions on to be better as a presenter. I not only offer these as a free option to teachers in Clark County School District because we don't have enough different technology PD opportunities, but also I want to be able to build my skills as a trainer. Thank you and have a good night.